Guys, it's day 1540 of getting sued by Impossible Foods. Let's talk about Starbucks. All right, so this guy is Brian Niccol. He's the CEO of Starbucks, and he used to be the CEO of Chipotle. He was brought in earlier this year to turn things around and is doing a pretty good job from what I can tell. He sort of crushed it at Chipotle, and Starbucks is his next thing. And it looks like this was back in August. Yesterday, RFK JR posted a photo with him, and he said he was pleased to learn that Starbucks food and beverages already avoid artificial dyes, artificial flavors, high fructose corn syrup, artificial sweeteners, and other additives. I thought this was the funniest response to that tweet. Now, Vani Hari, the food babe, actually had a longer take on this. And she's got a couple breakdowns about the summer drinks that Starbucks offers. You can pause this and read it if you want. And then here's the second one. Now, a lot of people try to make this political one way or another. I don't really care either way, but I did think it was interesting to see that they said that their plans were to further Maha its menu. But then they have drinks like that available, but also their food partners seem to be in the ultra processed space. For example, this is one of the things on their menu currently. I just pulled this up in the Starbucks app. If you dig into the ingredients under the plant-based breakfast patty section, there do seem to be a lot of things in there that would be considered additives. Again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not involved in politics, but one of the ingredients is soy hemoglobin. There's a lot of consonants there. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Again, I'm not a doctor, I don't play one on TV, but it does seem like that might be an additive. And if you go to the FDA website, there's actually a note here in 2019 amending the color additive regulations to provide for the safe use of soy hemoglobin as a color additive in ground beef analog products, veggie burgers. And here's a document in March 7th of this year from Impossible Foods to the FDA petitioning that the color additive regulations be amended to expand the safe use of soy hemoglobin as a color additive to include in plant-based meat. They want it to be excluded because the substance is intended to remain in the food through ingestion by consumers and is not intended to replace macronutrients in food. Again, that's March 7th, 25. And this post with Secretary Kennedy and the CEO of Starbucks, Brian Nichols, is May 18th, 25. So just 3 months later. So I'm not quite sure what that means. Again, I'm not a doctor, but if Brian Niccol is going to talk about making the Starbucks menu healthier and removing additives while also carrying items that seem to contain things that are categorized as additives, it sort of feels like he's trying to play it both ways. And maybe that's smart. Coffee isn't really political. But if you're going to say that Starbucks food and beverages already avoid artificial dyes, artificial flavors, and other additives, and you're selling stuff with additives, I think as a consumer, it would just be helpful to know which direction you're actually going. Also, personally, I'm just curious why Starbucks would choose to partner with a company that enjoys suing small businesses around America. And it's a shame, too, because the Nitro Cold Brew at Starbucks is actually legit. I mean, the macros on that are not bad at all. And although this could be cleaned up like just a little bit. So I guess the question to Brian is if you're trying to make the menu healthier, kudos on that. Nicely done. If you're not, was it just a good chance to meet the secretary? Or are you going to continue selling third-party products that seem to still have additives in them, apparently, and just hoping that nobody checks on it? Not to mention that one of those partnerships is currently suing a small business and trying to bully them out of their trademarks. But again, guys, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just asking questions. Hopefully, Brian can answer some of them. All right, guys, that's day 1540 of getting sued by Impossible Foods. I'll see you here tomorrow.